Food insecurity continues to be a major challenge among rural communities in Kenya. This is as a result of low and unreliable rainfall and the changing climatic conditions in the country. Reducing land parcels due to population explosion, high poverty levels, illiteracy, and poor infrastructure are just but some of the pitfalls that bedevil practices that may otherwise ensure communities are well fed all year round. Currently, many parts of the country are experiencing drought conditions that have resulted into many households going hungry. If the situation goes on unabated, then it could result into calamities of disastrous proportions. The world is now racing to save the hunger-stricken Kenyans in Turkana and northern Kenya, buoyed on by local efforts from government and non-governmental bodies. The government of Kenya and individual institutions, including foreign bodies, have been at the forefront in dissemination of information critical to mitigating the prevailing drought and hunger that continually afflicts the populace year in, year out. However, the picture is not entirely grim. There are some success stories that are worth emulating. The government of Kenya, through many of its agencies, have been at the forefront of ensuring self-sufficiency among the populace. One of these worthwhile initiatives is the National Agricultural and Livestock Extension Program (Nalep), an initiative of the Ministries of Agriculture and Livestock Development in collaboration with the Swedish International Development Agency (SIDA). Started in the year 2000, Nalep came to being as a follow-up program to the National Soil and Water Conservation Program, which was largely effective in achieving its objectives, mainly structured on community involvement.
And the first objective was we were to institutionalize, that is to put in a system which would ensure that there is demand-driven and farmer-led extension services. Also, the other objective was that there would be pluralistic extension services in place, and that the private sector involvement in the agricultural sector would be enhanced, and that farmers would be empowered to take charge and to demand for services from the service providers. Those were the broad objectives that we had. And of course, we had the thrusts of how we are implementing these things. The first thrust of the program implementation is on facilitation of extension. And in facilitation of extension, we have supported by providing a number of motorbikes, a number of motor vehicles, and other things. And we have specific figures. Like during the program life, we have purchased a total of 650 motorbikes, which are given to extension providers. Then we have also purchased a total of 86 motor vehicles, which is given to each and every implementing district. And we have also buses. We have a fleet of 3 buses, which are used for tours by producers and farmers and even staff. We also, the second area is to develop concepts. Yeah, we develop concepts and we test concepts. For example, the approach that we're using is called the focal area approach. Focal area approach is a concept that we borrowed from the catchment approach that was there in the National Soil and Water Conservation Program. We moved with it and we are now using it. We are having things like disaster mitigation. We are strong and we talk on partnerships, collaboration, and such things. So we want to develop concepts that have not been new in extension provision. Then the other one is capacity building. Basically, it's providing technical skills to farmers, staff, and everybody.
Nalep has adopted an all-inclusive model in propagating its ideals among the local communities. This has ensured ownership among the communities, leading to largely successful projects that will eventually lead to self-sustenance among communities. Nalep seeks to mobilize communities towards mapping out strategies that are geared towards ensuring self-sufficiency. This will therefore ensure that communities do not continually depend on government and donors. Rather, they will start projects of their choice and those that they can easily steer to fruition long after the initiators have exited the scene. The projects are there for long term, aimed at benefiting many generations and of individual communities.
Nalep ilikuja kwa ajili ya kutufundisha jinsi ya kupunguza njaa ambayo ilikuwa sehemu hii, kufukuza njaa na kupunguza umaskini ulioko. Lakini kitengo zaidi ni kwamba tufundishwe kufanya kilimo kama biashara.
Nalep, in its different phases, has made tremendous milestone in communities it serves through provision of alternative sources of livelihood to many Kenyans. The role of stakeholders and the donor community in these achievements is remarkable.
We have been implementing Nalep for the last 10 years, but phase 2 we have implemented for the last 4 years. And during the last 4 years, the Swedish government has been able to disburse about 145 million Kenya shillings to various districts in the province. And we have been able to mobilize the community. What we do in the program is community mobilization, but before we do that, we identify a focal area. And what I mean by a focal area is an area which is either a location or has the population of about 2,000.
We are also very happy because of empowerment to the community. The fact that most of the members now are banked. That means that they can get banking services, they can get credit, and it is through that they get bulk payment at the end of the month. We are also very happy because the group is assisting the office through education and capacity building.
Nalep has really assisted us, not me alone, as the whole group, Kasarani Dairy Farmers, because when we started, Nalep came in. It has really trained us on many things, the feeding of the cows, rearing, and even diseases. So we have been trained by Nalep a lot, and they also gave us some funds which we used to extend our Kasarani Dairy shed. Initially we had only one container where we were putting our feeds. So when Nalep came in, we were able to add to our stock. We built a hay shed and we built a milk shed. So it has really assisted us because now we can, as a farmer, now even if I have no cash, I can go to the shed there, our shop, Kasarani Dairy shop. I can get feeds on credit, I can get hay on credit, even mineral supplements, we stock all those, so I can get there.
Nalep programs are spread across the country in an effort to impart good practices for better production. A number of projects such as the introduction of emerging livestock, tissue culture, banana farming, increased dairy production and fish farming have created a change amongst the communities, both health-wise and provision of much-needed income. The result is that families are now healthy, children get an opportunity to attend school, and involvement of family members in the various projects soothes the family fabric and breeds love at home. While pastoralists in the arid and semi-arid lands are grappling with the drought menace which has wiped out their livestock leading to hunger, those livestock and cereal farmers in the high potential areas have a success story to tell. One such group that has benefited from Nalep is Kahuro Livestock Breeders Cooperative Society Limited in Kahuro district of Muranga County, where the sales of members' milk has more than trebled. This has been brought about by training on good practices of animal husbandry that involves having less but more productive cattle.
Kuanzia wakati nianza mkulima, mimi ni mwalimu. Now ina supplement ile kidogo napata kwa upande wa walimu, nalete pande nyingine. Sasa naweza panua vile nimepanuka, nafundisha watoto wangu. Sina shida na karo ya shule, sina shida na kitu yote. Nasema imenisaidia sana. Ng'ombe moja nimezalisha mpaka pale tumefikia, sasa naweza sema nitakuwa na ng'ombe 12. Na hiyo ng'ombe 12 kile inapatia kwa mwezi nimesema ni kama 50,000. Hiyo nikienda cooperative bank wanaweza nipatia loan ambao ningetaka kupanua, hata kuchukua kashamba kidogo. Imenifanyia yote. Hii nyumba nimejenga kutoka hapo.
Nilikuwa nikikamua mara 2 kwa siku. Sasa nakamua mara 3. Na maziwa imeongezeka. Sasa jambo hili lilitokea kwa vile tulisomeshwa na walimu wetu hawa KDSCP.
Na tumefaidika kiasi, na bado tunatarajia tutaendelea kuelewa mambo mingi ya kulisha ng'ombe. Na ile imenifanya nifurahie sana Hivyo nimeona au tumeelezwa vile ng'ombe zetu wanaweza kuimprove kutoka na dama. Ukilisha dama vizuri ndio utaendelea kupata ng'ombe mzuri na ndio atakutolea hata maziwa vizuri.
The same applies to Ndisha Dairy Group, a community-based organization with a total of 38 members in Wundanyi Division, Taita District in Coast Province. Dairy farmers in the area lacked skills and knowledge in high milk production and dairy management. Farmers produce as low as half a liter of milk a day. They practiced the local way of animal production, which resulted in poor milk production and poor breeding.
Nalep ilinisaidia, ambapo hasa mafunzo yenye nilipokea sana ni kuhusu animal husbandry, dairy animal husbandry, as in general management, kuanzia rearing, feeding, record keeping na yote yenye yanahusika kwa kilimo biashara. Kwa sababu kama ni ujuzi tumepawa, tunao, na mimi nimejaribu na nikaona hiyo ikaniwezesha kupanua fikra zangu, nikasema naweza kuongeza sasa zaidi ya wale wanyama watatu nilikuwa nashikilia, naweza ongeza wakafika 5, na at the same time I can hold selling stock ama replacement stock, naweza hold at a go wanyama 7 kwa shamba ile yenye nilikuwa nayo, thanks to hii mafunzo yenye nilipata kupitia shirika hilo.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock, being supported by Nalep, mobilized farmers, and we were able to get the quantities of milk that we got initially up to this particular level. And we have been working very closely also with Brookside and other stakeholders, particularly when it comes to field days and also trainings. We have actually participated, both Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock, to train farmers on improved animal husbandry, improved feeding, and etc. Livestock, particularly dairy, has actually improved tremendously in that farmers are able to get money back of what they actually investing, as compared to initially when they were being swindled by middlemen who are not paying them adequately.
Nimeona sasa tumefunza mzuri, kwa vile saa ile tulikuwa zamani kabisa, tulikuwa nyuma zaidi. Tulikuwa zamani tunakamua tu lita moja, lakini nakuta tu mtu saa hii kutoka ng'ombe moja lita 5, lita 6 hivi mpaka 10.
Mbeleni tulikuwa na shida kubwa sana. Sasa upande wa kuuza maziwa ulikuwa mbaya, hakuna, naweza tembea tu mpaka hata baadaye tunarudisha hata maziwa. Wakati tulijiunga na Old Farmers, mpaka sasa kuna shida. Sasa tunabeba maziwa baada ya mwezi mmoja na nalipa mzuri sana. Hakuna shida yoyote.
Farmers here also lacked markets for their produce, and middlemen took advantage of the situation, paying them peanuts or at times nothing. Poor road network hindered transportation of the milk to nearby market centers where the farmers will sell their milk. In most cases, the produce got spoiled before reaching the intended markets.
Members in our group benefit so much. For instance, new KCC buys milk from individual member who takes milk to KCC. The payment is 22 shillings and 80 cents. That's what, yeah. Any member who is in Mwetha today is paid Kenya shillings 29 per liter.
So we have some.
The AI services, a gentleman was trained, so he is available to the members, whether a member's money does not have money. Those are available. Animal feeds, they are also available. When a member's money does not have money, they are there. You come and pick them. We have a scheme of savings. They do save a little money. If one has a problem, says tunaenda bank tunamtolea. And generally, let me say from year 2009, honestly, even if you ask these members here, they'll tell you their lives have changed greatly. Yes, yeah.
And the Kasarani Dairy Farmers Self-Help Group in Kasarani districts, where farmers have been trained on clean milk handling, production, value addition, and dairy management. The Nalep program coordinator, Mr. Tom Bonyo, says Nalep components involve the formation and production of local institutions which need to sustain the program's initiatives and activities. It supports agricultural sector reforms which are related to the delivery of its research and extension services.
There is at least one focal area in each division in each year. And we are talking about 450, sometimes they go over 450 divisions. Then there is also a group that you will see there, a grassroots group called Common Interest Group, CIG. And now CIGs are the building blocks, the economic building blocks for the farmers. In the program, we believe that it is just seeing the individuals, going to an individual farmer like this is not enough. But when farmers are brought together for a common cause, they are able to take advantage of economies of skills, they can bulk, they can have a voice, they can demand for services, and somebody can now come and teach them at a go in a group, and they do their marketing and problems, they can counter them.
In Thika West district of Central Province, farmers have now embraced rabbit rearing. This fulfilling venture started as a hobby to some of the locals, but has now blossomed into a serious venture that is income generating. Ms. Beth Ngugi is one of the beneficiaries of such a program. Through extensive training and subsequent connection to the markets by Nalep, she has now stocked hundreds of livestock, an activity that has transformed her life and that of her dependents. Uptake of this venture among friends and relatives has increased as a result. Rabbit meat sells between 300 and 500 Kenya shillings, besides improving food security at domestic level as an alternative to regular food supplies.
Rabbit imenisaidia tena sana, because I remember I started with 4 and 1 male. And then finally, after even 2 weeks, those 2 female, they died. And then nikabakisha, now I have 2 and 1, 2 female and 1 male. But at least by the information or the advice nilipewa na now these people of Nalep, at least nimejaribu kuendelea. So now venye imenisaidia, first tuliasa ile sasa zilijaa, first nikukula. Now I changed from red meat. Now I'm in white meat ya sungula kwanza. Every time, like my daughter, she normally take 1 full.
Rabbits, they go with the different prices because we have what we call breeding stock. Breeding stock starts with 2 months old, whereby we sell at 1,000 shillings. We have the medium breeds which go for about 2,500. Then we have mature breeds which go for around 3,000 to 3,500.
Goat keeping also is another venture that many locals are keen on. Farmers in the region are fast embracing goat keeping because they are not labor intensive and also do not require a lot of space. A big relief due to receding land acreage following population explosion among communities. The list of success continues with fish farms in Trans Nzoia West District in Western Kenya, following the conversion of former mosquito breeding grounds into viable fish ponds, producing enough fish on a commercial scale. For a long time, communities in this area depend on menial labor, including working on people farms to earn a living. This situation has now been reversed, and according to Mr. Ambrose Ameka, chairman of Nabiswa Fish Farming Group, such diseases like kwashiorkor and malnutrition that were common due to lack of proper diet are no more. Fish and other products bought by money from this venture supplement the family diet.
Out of this achievement is when the community individuals started to construct their own ponds, and as per now, we have got 40 ponds in Nabiswa community only. We are now looking forward for assistance to have a cooler here so that we can make the fish to put in the cooler for sale, and looking forward if we can have a hatchery.
Kwa hivyo tangu huo mradi uanze, wameanza kusomesha watoto vizuri. Shida za nyumbani kama ukombi imepunguka. Kupata inputs za kununua kama mbolea, mbegu, sasa imekuwa rahisi kwa maana wanapata pesa kutoka kwa fish ponds.
Tangu huu mradi uanze, vile tuliuza samaki ya kwanza, mimi nilishuhudia kama mama tulipata 10,000 na tukapelekea kijana kule shuleni. Hata katika hali ya mahitaji mengine ninaona nikifaitika. Maana ukikosa kitu unaenda mahali pale unauza samaki yako kama mama na unakuja unatumikia. Katika mji wangu ninaona watoto wangu wana afya.
Nalep has not left out Nairobi province in its activities. Empowerment has spread to groups like the Drumvilla Baraka Farmers Self-Help Groups in Jiru district. Farmers in the area lacked skills and knowledge in crop and animal production. Food insecurity was also an issue here because of poor soils and small parcels of land. Being close to the city, many youths opted to looking for jobs in the city but often ended up in criminal activities. Farmers have now been trained and they also have been linked to ready markets that are helping them change their lives.
Because actually I've secured my family on the side of food and at the same time financially.
Other city-based initiatives are the Ruthimitu community-based organization in Dagoretti district that is undertaking fish farming. Chambuko Men and Women Asali Group is in Kilifi district of Coast Province. Farmers here lacked skills and knowledge in beekeeping and honey production and only depended on white-collar jobs, while others moved from their homes to towns to look for jobs. After Nalep's intervention, the community is now on the way to economic prosperity. The youth in the area have now turned away from drug abuse, which is a major challenge to communities at the coast. Members have now been equipped with knowledge and skills in beekeeping and honey production, as well as capacity building.
Ufugaji imekuwa kama kazi yangu. Nikishavuna mizinga yote ile naweza kupata kama lita 20 ile mizinga yangu hasa binafsi.
The youth in the area have also been rehabilitated and now they are taking the practice as part of their livelihood. The issue of drug abuse has been wiped away and even the vices along the highway reduced. This is because most of them are busy managing their beehives. Communities are thus economically endowed, able to make far-reaching decisions about their well-being, like provision of quality education to their children. Nalep has also promoted the growth of bananas on commercial bases in western, northeastern and eastern provinces in Kenya. In Meru Central and Gatundu districts, for example, farmers have embraced commercial banana growing. Tissue culture bananas were introduced to the South Imenti Banana Growers community-based organization and the uptake has been phenomenal. The result is thriving farms that have become a source of livelihood to many of the area residents, improving livelihoods and alleviating idleness and drunkenness among the area youths. These activities have ensured that even crime rates have gone down in areas since the youth have something meaningful to do.
Hiyo mradi ulipoingia wa Nalep, wakulima wengi ama wale watu ambao tuko nao kwa kikundi waliupendelea sana, wakaushika na umetuinua. Tumefaidika sana kama kulipa school fees ambao hatukuwa tunaipata ama kupunguza umaskini. Kwa hiyo mandisi yametusaidia sana kwa vyakula na pia mauzo.
Chakula sasa hakuna shinda, mandisi tuko nayo ya kutosha na hata school fees tunapata. Hiyo ni faida zile tunapata kwa sababu hapo mbeleni tulikuwa tukitumia kama kuni nyingi. Siku hizi wale wako na mbeo ngasi hawatumii kuni, wanatumia hiyo mbeo ngasi.
Tukafundishwa habari ya samaki. Nilipa vijana wakashimba shimo. Sasa mimi nauza samaki kwa shimo langu.
In Kahogoini and Gatundu South, using the bananas, farmers have started producing banana wine and crisps. These products are sold within and outside the district and the proceeds go a long way in assisting the communities earn a living. In a province where alcohol consumption has risen to alarming proportions, with leaders and anti-drug campaigners taking a keen interest, such activities are welcome in order to divert attention from the dangers of drug abuse. Thanks to Nalep, communities in Nandi County are reaping good profits from the sale of horticulture produce. This has been made possible due to education of the community members on the benefits of greenhouse technology. This technology has increased production tremendously and now the community is able to produce more fruits and vegetables from small patches of land. This activity too is not labor intensive.
Each member has had to have an account with Equity Bank because I think we used to have bank accounts when dairy was booming, them days. before KCC collapsed. And then we came down, we didn't have bank accounts, but we are back to banking. These farmers have bank accounts. They go to queue to earn their money from the produce from the farm.
Each individual farmer produces passion fruits alongside fresh vegetables such as French beans, baby corns, and sugar snaps. Nalep has also gone ahead to identify markets for the farmers who are now able to sell their produce across the border in Uganda. Lugari Grain Amaranth Farmers Group, based in Lugari district of Western Province, has been at the forefront of producing many products from this indigenous plant, have had to contend with harassment from brokers and middlemen in order to access markets. This in essence has exposed them to exploitation and unfair practice, with the hard work put in going down the drain. All is not lost. Nalep has linked the CBO to an international NGO known as Illinois Development Partners, who have promised to fund the group on production and initial marketing of their products, a big step in trying to re-establish the once thriving trade of the plant and its products. Not far from here in the neighboring Bungoma East District, there is a common interest group called Chetambe Sucha Producers involved in the cultivation of black nightshade. The group has turned its fortunes around following intensive training by Nalep that has helped them increase production and also link them to markets. Members can now boast of improved livelihoods as a result of better earnings. Many children in the area have also resumed schooling.
After trainings, tulienda kusoma, tukafanya market survey. Vile tulifanya market survey, tukapata kuwa wateja wetu, kuna schools, kuna walimu wanapenda hizi mboga in schools. Kisha tukakuja mahotels huwa zinapenda hizi mboga za kienyeji, na kuna retailers tu wale wenye wananunua wakiuza reja. Na tena tuna wenye tumelinga hapo wanatoka Eldoret wakikuja Webuye wakichukua hizi mboga wakienda nazo kuuza Eldoret.
Like you see, the Black Nightshade group, we have livestock members and we have the Black Nightshade members, because we have to make ends meet, so that every day we have also local poultry in the area as ICIG, so that instead of selling all the food because you want money to do something, if you sell the vegetables, the money come in a very short time, and then you can sell the eggs or the poultry, to diversify income, so that every time a farm has money in the pockets.
Nyumba zetu zimebadilika na tunatarajia hata kujenga mpaka permanent houses, bora tupate mahali pazuri pa kuuza vitu zetu vile tunapangilia.
With irrigation and training in good crop husbandry, Northeastern Province can feed its people and even serve external markets. Despite the area being semi-arid, irrigation can be used to ensure that the virgin lands produce enough food, thereby alleviating the perennial drought that leaves a lot of destruction in its wake. The above example is best exemplified by Salama Farm. Located in Garissa district and near the Tana River, the potential of its area can be attested to. Salama Farm, through irrigation, is now producing a lot of fruits and vegetables.
And I think there's a lot of fodder here. In the whole location, there was nothing called fodder. They don't have anything about grass. They usually come to the other farms. There are even no farms where they can get even those weeds to feed the animals. But with Khadija now, there's a lot of fodder. Now they have seen that they didn't know that there was a seed, fodder, pasture seed. They have never imagined that the grass has seeds. When the Minister of Livestock brought for them the seeds, these guys planted, and the other farm next called Al-Rahma planted. They saw it during the field day, and they saw it. There are some who told us they have seen this farm, although they say you never had a visitor. So that's already a success. The issue of fodder production, banana, there was no banana in this location. Even if you are told somebody is going to die, we need a pawpaw, you will need to wait in this location. The farming activity was very poor. But now Korkora, there's a lot of fruits. There's banana, there's pawpaw, there's pasture for the animals. So I think that's already a success.
So we felt we need to come in here with force, with a lot of force, so that we capacity build the farmers and at the same time assist them, get assistance from the various stakeholders in the district. And in the process, a number of farms have come up.
Salama Farm is composed of 15 women and 15 men. This is an area where traditionally women are kept on the sidelines of development projects. In the same area, there is also Khadija Group Farm that is also using irrigation to undertake farming activities. This is on the backdrop of the fact that both groups are pastoralists. Muungano Kidhangambi Self-Help Group is in Lungalunga district and lies along the Kenya and Tanzania border. This is a semi-arid area, and like other dry areas, food insecurity was rampant. There was lack of access to safe and potable water and very poor communication network. With regard to gender participation, women were marginalized and could not participate actively in development issues. They remained at the periphery. Most of the population depended on burning charcoal despite its negative effects on the environment. The charcoal was sold through middlemen who in turn exploited them. Fortunes for this group have turned around with the help of Nalep.
After getting the funds, we started training them on digging the water pan, and then from there, the management of the water harvesting structures. We trained them for 5 days, and from there now the project took off.
Hizi mboga tunauza manyumbani mwetu. Kuna wale ambao hawajajiunga na mradi, na kuna wale ambao wafiki hapa kwenye mradi kwa sababu ni mbali, ndio huwa tunawapelekea, tunawauzia.
Ama kwa kweli si wanawake tunashukuru sana. Huku ni mahali kulikuwa kukame, na tumeonyeshwa nia ya kupanda mboga. Mboga yetu huku wakati wa kiangazi ilikuwa ni dagaya. Sijui nafikiri mnawajua hao. Sasa tunashukuru siku hizi tunakula green, hata tunasikia tuna afya.
Women and youth are normally left behind in development projects, especially in rural communities. Nalep has identified this aspect in many of its initiatives and has since sought to involve these disadvantaged groups. Women, for example, play second fiddle to their male counterparts in many communities, for example in Western and Eastern Province. Women and youths are now being involved in ventures that seek to empower them and catapult them to decision makers at the business level. Wenzei Wendo Waaka women group from Migwani district in Eastern Province is a good example of just how much potential women have. This group consists of 25 members, all women, now involved in sisal farming, having shed off dependencies of men who in most cases have moved to nearby towns in search of jobs. Initially, these women were left at home desolate, but now their efforts are bearing fruit and now they are able to feed their families and even join together to form small groupings that are development-based amongst themselves.
Kama mama nimefaidika kwa vile saa hii kama kikundi tuko na pesa kwa bank. Kabla hatujanunuliwa tunaenda tunachukua hiyo pesa tunalipia fees, na sana sana wamama wengine hapa walikuwa wakikaa nyumbani sana, lakini saa hii ukienda hapa ni hao tu wako na vipanda za sukuma, mboga wanauza hapa. So tumeinuka, tumesaidia watoto wetu, tena tunasaidia orphans, na tena walemavu kama huyo mama aoni. Na tena tumechukua wanaume, tuko na wanaume lakini saa hii hawako, wengine walemavu, tunasaidiana.
Wakati Nalep ile tusaidia tukapata hii mashini, tulianzisha soko yetu hapa Onje, tukaanza kununua hapa na kuuzia hapa. Wamama waendangi mbali, na mbeleni tulikuwa tunanunuliwa kamba vibaya sana na ile mambloka inakuanga huku. Tukaona afadhali tununue kama kikundi. Tukinunua kama kikundi tunapeleka mwingi Kithioko, na tukiuza tunaweza pata baita ile tunatafuta. Ile baita tukiketi sini tunaweza angalia tukaona hii baita wacha tupatie msao hii, na hii nyingine tupeleke kwa bank, na hii nyingine tungawanye mtu afanye kazi yake.
Jikoni Self-Help Group from Vihiga district in Western Province has been able to break the cultural barrier where women were not allowed to plant bananas. The group, comprised of widows, has seen these women delve into economic activities that have impacted positively on the whole community, improving quality of life.
Ile ndizi ya kienyeji nilikuwa nayo, nilikuwa haifanyi vizuri. Na vile nilipata mafunzo, nikaambiwa ung'oe zote. Kama unataka hii ndizi, ung'oe hizi zako zote. Nikafikiria, sasa nitaanzaje? Na hii njaa nitafanya namna gani? Nitakuwa nikikula nini? Kitambo hii ikuje au ikue. Na nikafikiria sana, lakini nikaona pana. kunipatia mawaidha mazuri. Nikang'oa mandizi yote. Nilipong'oa za zamani nilipanda ndizi 45. Sasa kutoka hapo zimezaana, niliuza shilingi 8,000. Nikaona sasa si nimepata mahindi gunia 2 na vitu zingine badala ya kupanda mahindi alafu nakula yote kwa shamba. Sasa kutoka hapo nimeona ndizi tisho banana ni nzuri kabisa.
Mpango wa Nalep tuliweza kufanya in collaboration with Ministry of Health na tukapata fedha kidogo zikakuja kwa hii health center, na sasa kwa wakati huu kuna construction ambayo inaendelea na ni construction ya maternity wing. Wakati wa zamani hata tuseme kwa wakati huu wakina mama ama mama zetu wakijifungua wanaenda mbali sana, lakini kwa sasa kuna dispensary ambayo inaendelea na tunafurahia sana huu mpango wa Nalep katika hii Kaibaga Focal area.
Program Advisor Mr. Michael Segeros attributes the Nalep achievement to formation of strong stakeholders forums at divisional, districts and provincial levels, which promotes democracy, good governance, especially in mobilizing respective communities and involving them in the decision-making process.
The major aim with Nalep, or our major extension approach, is the focal area extension approach, which means that we concentrate resources in what we call a focal area. For ideally it should be 3 years, but in practice it has now been between 1 to 3 years. In this focal area is in high potential, medium potential areas is normally a location or sub-location, and it contains something like 2,000 to 6,000 people in that focal area.
The strength of the programs also lies in the formation of common interest groups, which flags out opportunities from which activities emerge that attract formation of enterprise-based groups tailored along commercial lines. There are also a number of challenges that need to be addressed. Lack of harmonization in the agricultural sector tops the list. Beating the handouts mentality in the field is also crippling, as many donors have different approaches to advancing development projects. Nalep, however, believes in empowerment, whereby the farmers and other stakeholders are enabled to fish as opposed to it being given. Nalep is also incapacitated by lack of dedicated staff to implement its ideals due to its dependency on civil servants that are very thin on the ground.